What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back in the video on the channel, and today we went to Juicy Platters. If you're not familiar, it is a franchise halal platter place that is in New Jersey. As of now, there are 4 locations: one in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, Hackensack, New Jersey, Harrison, New Jersey, and Paramus, New Jersey. This is the Fair Lawn location. Big reason I went here was because on Saturday I went to Halal Guys, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, why don't you go to Juicy Platters?" Now, I've been here a bunch of times, but I said, okay, like, I'm not going to be mad. We're going to compare that to Halal Guys, but I'm also just going to try this out. Also, yesterday we had a topic of conversation where I was kind of talking about men's behavior in dating, and like approaching women and things of that nature. I'm going to flip the script and we're going to talk about kind of what I personally, as well as what I've heard from men about what women may have wrong about initial dating stuff. Now, compatibility is always key, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But drop a thumbs up. We got 3 different things from here. Well, kind of 5, actually. We have a platter, which I'll get into in a second as I dress that up. We have a wrap, which looks like an absolute debacle before I actually talk about it, just because I can't believe that we'll talk about it. An order of wings, which is a 5-piece honey barbecue. This is a new addition to the menu. It is a juicy Platter brownie, which I've never had, but it's brand new, so I'm gonna try that out. Order of fries, and they give you so much white sauce compared to Halal Guys. They gave me 2 packets. Juicy Platters gave me 10. There are 10 packets or containers of white sauce, and then I got 2 hot sauces, which actually is a good ratio for me. But let's get into this video. I'm going to start off right here with their platter. Now, this platter came out to $14.60, but I paid $3 extra. Normally it's $11.60. But I got extra chicken. So let me show you what else is on here. So there's also spicy chickpeas, which you can see right here. I got tomatoes, as well as the onions and the pita, which comes complimentary. Nothing about those are extra. You can get it over rice as well as a few other items, but I always like to get it with rice. Looks like 2 pieces of lettuce fell in here because they're trying to make me throw up. I don't like lettuce. But of course, you got to dress this bad boy up, so we got to add their white sauce. Now, I know people are going to compare and contrast, so I'm going to be honest. Whose white sauce is better? Well, this doesn't come from a packet. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'm going to leave it at that. The answer is this one, in my opinion. A little bit of hot sauce. I don't like to go too crazy with the hot sauce initially. They also add a lot more spice than Halal Guys is, just in general. So I don't go too crazy with that one, and I'll just add that one as needed. Then you get in here with the chicken. Now, I have actually had the liberty of speaking to the guy who owns this place. This was in 2019 or 2020. So I got to kind of take a little tour. They chop their chicken up fresh. I watched them cook everything and prep the ingredients, so it seems a lot more fresher. The only thing is, it's not a bad thing, but just like most places, the rice is already done. So it's, because you're trying to get it out to you in order. And I like their rice, but there has been a couple of occasions, and I'm speaking candidly here, that the rice comes out a little bit old if you go like at certain times. Like, it's a little older. So I like to get a fresh batch. But this is that bite I'm looking for. Let me see if it's as good as I remember. This is better. This is better. Yeah. This is better. Much better. Much better. My favorite part, I got the mix, so we have Euro meat in here as well. But I like these spicy chickpeas. I'm trying to get one, but I'm stupid and I have a fork and not a spoon, and I'm getting up. Right there is the spicy chickpea. Much better. So I'm snacking. I felt that one. And then these, like, onions. They have a caramelized taste, which I think this has way more flavor than Halal Guys. That's my only direct comparison. Rating this on that same scale, I give Halal Guys an 8. This gets a 9. I think, as far as the places I've had that do franchises, so multiple locations, that this is easily, in my opinion, the best one. They're also open late. But this, without opening it, is a wrap. And it was $10. Now, I might have slightly large hands, but it does look really small. So this thing better taste like the nectar of the gods. I got a falafel wrap. Now I'll be honest with you. This seems mad small. Like, normally when I hold burritos or things like that, but it is a wrap. So I'm gonna take the booty off. I don't like booty on a wrap. Okay, I just tore that thing apart and messed that up. You can just see how much tortilla is on here though. That it's not very full at all. I don't even want to. Oh, this is not even. That's crazy. All right, let's get into it. So I got a falafel wrap. That's what's on the inside. Inside of my wrap, there's also hummus, pickled onions, tomato, I think rice. I can't remember. Their falafel is also pretty good. Now, wrap is a little small for my taste. But if I'm just grading this on taste alone, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But considering, again, I took 2 bites and there's hardly any left, it's gotta get knocked down. Like, exponentially. To a 6.5. When I've gotten wraps from other places like that, they are bigger. Just for reference. But I do think it's good. Then over here, I used to really like their wings. Now, again, full transparency, these are 5 wings. I got the honey barbecue. These are pretty decent sized wings, but these cost $9.18 for 5. Just telling you the prices. You might think that's too much or too little. I'm just telling you what it is. Let's try it. The wings are crispy still, even though they've been sitting in that sauce. Now, they're probably they're less than 10 minutes old. All this stuff is in my area, so I don't live far. So, they're not that old, but honestly, I ain't mad at this. Wing prices have kind of gone crazy recently, so I don't even know what's cheap anymore or affordable. I've seen 5 or 6 wings as high as $15, but usually for 6 wings these days, they're usually about $10. That's just kind of what it's become. I don't know who's to blame. Supply chain, probably more than likely. Chicken's just more expensive, but they are very meaty. And the sauce, I got honey barbecue, so there's no spice level, but it's a pretty good barbecue sauce. Not the best barbecue sauce I've ever had, but it makes up for it with the texture on these. And again, I'm still leaving meat on these, and they're still a very big wing. Overall, I give it a 7. They're good. They're not elite wings, but I still would get these if I had like deeper pockets, if that makes sense. But I do like them. Not getting mad at that. I know these are super messy, so. Then we got some fries. These order of fries, there was more in the bag. I just didn't add the rest that come in here. Pretty decent size, and it comes out at $4. They are crispy, but it is about as basic of a fry you can get. There's not anything on them, but they are fried well. So I'm not mad at them, because when I go places like this, you can just get it in the sauce, and that's kind of what it's about. But based off the fry alone, I'll give it a 5.5. It's just it's your average fry, but it is fried well, so a little bit above average, if that makes sense. Then we have this brownie, $2.50. Like I said, I've eaten here a bunch of times. I've never seen this before, and it did have like that new, I don't know how new these are. I don't think they just came out, but they're relatively new. Now, just judging off of what this looks like, if I had a comparison to this, I swear to you, this almost looks identical to the ones they serve at Firehouse Subs. Like, I don't know if there's like suppliers or something like that, or if they're getting like a batter, but $2.50, pretty much the going rate for this type of brownie. Nah, this is literally it. This is y'all don't think I'm crazy. I have no way to verify this. I'm almost 89%, yes, 89% sure that this is the Firehouse Subs brownie. It tastes identical. It has the same top with the chocolate chips and the crumbles. Now, I don't think they're like taking them from Firehouse Subs, but Usually with supply chains, if you can get a hold of a supplier, I swear to you, if this isn't it, it's the closest thing to it. And I like Firehouse Subs brownies. 250 is really not that bad. It's about the going rate. I think the Firehouse one is $2.99. This is similar. It's got dense, fudgy chocolate chip. The top is a little crumbly, but it's not dry at all. I cannot stand dry brownies. I need that dense fudginess, and this is better than some people's homemade brownies. No joke. Fast food chain scale, this is right on par with Firehouse Subs, which I gave a 9 to in the first place. As far as one of the better chain brownies. I'll rock with this. I can't believe it. I gotta find out, bro. I know I gotta get some inside info. Somebody out there, because this always reaches employees. Can you tell me how to break that brownie? I've never done a video where somebody goes, oh, I work at this place. I'm throwing a leap of faith out here. Somebody please help me out, because I think I'm going crazy. So that concludes the review portion of the video. But I want to talk to y'all. Get a little bit of my food in. So yesterday, I showed you a viral video from TikTok, right? That had a guy that, I don't know if he posted it as a thing to get like views, because reactions get in the algorithm. Like whether you're infamous or famous, lots of comments and stitches and when you send things to people, you know how there's an option where you can like share it. So when you share that, it will boost it in the algorithm as well as favoriting. So people went nuts on this. That's just a good way to go viral. So I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but it presented something that I was like, I need to talk about this, which I said, for men, you have to stop approaching women. That was my dog. That sneezed. Just in case anybody's wondering. But when a lot of men approach women, they approach women as if they're men. Like if they think like men. But women are not turned on or attracted to by things that men are turned on with. For example, men are very visual. So a woman sending a guy a picture, it works much better than if we were to send a picture. And I don't just mean explicit stuff, but I am including that. We're much more visible. So a lot of guys will treat women like that or come at them in this very like aggressive, sexual type of way. It doesn't land. A lot of women in the comments agreed with me. But there was one person who said that women have the same problem, whereas they list or talk about attributes that men, respectfully, because I just want you to hear me out. I know women get offended when I start talking about this kind of stuff. I'm only telling you this from an informational purpose. It's not even just my personal opinion. A lot of men also feel this way. But you start listing your qualities as if you're talking to a woman. A big one, which was presented, and I agree with, is when you start listing off your academic or monetary achievements. A lot of women think that men are intimidated by women who make a lot of money or that have a lot of degrees or things like that. And I think that's where you guys missed the mark. Again, just hear me out. It's not that we're intimidated. It's that we don't care. I know that's going to piss somebody off. Just listen and stop typing. It is a bonus when it comes to how men look for a potential partner, wife, mate, etc. When you say, oh, well, I can afford my own and this, that, and the third. It's more of a bonus than anything. We don't really care. But it's not that it's a big deal if it is. For example, would I date a woman who made a lot of money or more money than me? Absolutely. I wouldn't care. But I also don't care if you don't make a lot of money. You get what I'm saying? It's not anything that is something that we list as important. If we had a list of important things that we would rank as men, academic achievements and monetary, how much money you make, are usually not important to most men. Not all, but most. And it's one of the first things that comes out of most women's mouths when you ask them, what do you bring to the table? The same way that you look at men, sometimes, not all, and say, I don't need a man, I can take care of myself. The sentiment is identical. We don't need a woman to take care of us financially. Most men who are adults and are doing what they are supposed to be doing can buy and take care of themselves. Those types of things aren't important when I'm looking, me and people that I've spoken to, for a partner. The things that we value important are usually things that money can't buy. Like loyalty, for one. These days, respectfully, it's less than it used to be. Or it's just more out in the open. However you want to look at it. But that is a very important thing. The other thing that I think a lot of women don't really get is the humility aspect. Men tend to like women that are a little more humble. And when I say humble, it doesn't mean you're not confident. But I think a lot of women mistake confidence for arrogance. Confidence is quiet. Arrogance is outward. So when I hear women personally, this is personal, but I know a lot of men agree with me, talking about, oh, well, I look like this, or I'm so hot and blah. There's nothing wrong with feeling that way. But when you're constantly saying it, it just comes across as arrogant. I want you to think about if you were on a date with a guy, and the guy was sitting there telling you how good he looked. Or telling you, oh, well, I could get another one of you in a second. Look how attractive I am. You might say, yeah, he is attractive, but it's kind of annoying. That's what it comes across as. Confidence comes in a way you carry yourself. It's not spoken. It's just implied. So when I see a confident woman, it's a woman that I know she knows she look good, but she don't act like it. She just acts like she's just a cool person. She's regular. And that's something that guys find a lot better. There's a big thing I've seen on podcasts. I watch some of these. I swear to you, out of curiosity, I've watched them because I see all these clips, so I started watching them. And a lot of women ask them to rate themselves out of 10, and they say, I'm a 10. It's not a bad thing to think you're a 10, but could you imagine if you asked every guy what he thought of himself and he said he was a 10? Do you get what I'm saying? That's more what it's like. So it's almost more attractive to see a woman who is outwardly very attractive and be like, you know, I think I'm pretty. I'm probably like a 7. It's not what you actually look like or how you feel about yourself. It's the fact that 10 just comes across to men who are more logical or they're more pragmatic. They think in black and white. So if a man hears you say you're a 10, you're saying I'm perfect. And even though the I'm perfect the way I am is true, meaning you are someone's 10 is the way you should look at it. But if you're asking an outward assessment and you say I'm a 10, you're saying that everybody in the world thinks I'm perfect. That's where the arrogance comes from. I don't know if I'm making sense when I say this, but I'm not trying to put anybody down, and I don't want you to think you shouldn't think you're beautiful or you shouldn't think you're great. But to me, if I was rating myself, I would hope the woman that I'm dating would think I'm a 10. But not every woman who ever existed. And that's where the gray area comes from. So I just wanted to explain from our end what it looks like, more than anything. And also, before I get out of here, the whole thing with paying for first dates and things like that. Most people in a dating market are just trying not to get used. We just don't want to feel like you're there for not me. Just like as a woman, you would want to feel, because women, a lot of them are fearful that men are trying to use them for their body, right? Which is, I get, because that's a horrible feeling to feel like the only reason he was talking to you was because he was trying to get with you in that manner, but he had no intention of dating you, of treating you like a normal person. He just wanted something when he got it and he was gone. It's a horrible feeling. The same sentiment comes from why men don't usually like to pay for first meetings, because you don't want to feel as if you're being used for that. You get what I'm saying? It's not even about the money. I would rather you just say, hey, I have no interest in you. Can you please just buy me dinner? This way I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not saying all women do this, but I have personally spoken to women out at different places that have said they go out with guys for food. I would rather you just say, hey, listen, can you give me $20 so I can get some food? Than me go into this with a whole different mindset. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't want to feel like I'm being used. It's a bad feeling, either way. As a man, if I take somebody out and I realized they weren't interested in me, I would just feel horrible as a person. And that's where that sentiment comes from. Some people come with the if you're broke, just say that. Most men can at least pay for their own stuff. And the other thing that they say when it comes to that is, first of all, if I have a job and a house, I'm not broke. It may not be what you think is money, but if I have a job, I have money. So you say, I'm just answering things now at this point. This is the last thing I'm going to say. So I hear women sometimes saying things. And again, when I say women, I'm talking about individual, general, not each woman. Each woman doesn't think this way. But the things that I hear you can't be a gold digger if you make 40K a month or a year. And my answer to that is yes, you can. If I am a man and I make $40,000 to $50,000 a year, I still have gold. Even though I don't have a lot of gold, it's still gold. So if you take half my gold, I'm only left with 25K. You get what it's still money. If I have $100 and you take $50, I still got $50. If I have $1,000, you take $500. It's still $500. It's still money that I earned that I don't want to feel like I'm being used for. What little bit I have, if I choose to give you some of that because I like you, I don't want it to be the reason. I want it to be a bonus. You understand what I'm saying? I understand why it's a big deal because you don't want to date a bum. But a dude that has a job and is gainfully employed, he spent 40 hours working. He's not a bum. He works. Those are 40 hours a week that he can't get back. And he does it every week. That's not easy. So I just wanted to say that. A lot of times you look and you know, and I say you just in general, when I hear people talking about dudes that don't make a lot of money as if they're broke, like we get this, 40 hours is still 40 hours. That's time. That's the one thing I can't buy and I can't get back. So I just think people need to just, in order for us to get better as a society, because I feel like everybody's going back and forth with, okay, men stink and women stink. I've tried to take an approach recently where I'm just trying to understand where everybody's coming from. So I'm just laying the cards out on the table. You can do what you want with the cards. It's not just my opinion. I do share a lot of those sentiments, though. We just out here trying not to get used at the end of the day. All of us. So let's just respect each other a little more. I sound like Mr. Rogers at this point. I'm aging myself. Anyway, that wrap is a debacle. With this bowl, way better than halal, guys. But that's going to be the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. We had a nice little conversation today. I had to talk about it, though. I've seen too many videos. So we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. I love y'all. The hand signs. They made it to YouTube.